It's time to go!
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Claude and the Banstas. Hope you're all well on this Wednesday afternoon. Bit of a miserable day, raining and very overcast, cloudy, but, you know, we're plot on. Don't worry about that. And we're here to help you, and hopefully you're here to help us. So thank you very much for coming over and helping us. I've got the main man, Taddy, back with us again today. Was a great show yesterday, and I'm looking forward to this one again, Taddy. How you doing, mate? And shout out your show, mate.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I was just going to make a comment on the fact that I don't even know what the weather is outside for me because I've been so busy since morning. I woke up and, listen, I haven't looked out my window, man. That's how busy I am today, you know, with work and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, yeah, we're in lockdown, so I just rather sit my ass at home. Anyway, guys, apart my channel, really, it's Taddy Osho. That's it down there, right there, Taddy Osho Sports. If you can just hit the likes. Myself and Claude, by the way, we're going to be starting the show very soon. Hopefully he gets well. You know, shout out to Claude as well. Hopefully he gets well soon. So yeah, so you guys should hit the likes and you know, maybe subscribe to my channel.
No, he's going to be doing a lot of work with us and between us two. So yeah, go over and give each channel a like, please, and don't forget to like all of our platforms and all while you're at it. So let's get going. I don't know if you said you've been very busy. I don't know if you've seen any transfer news today, Taddy, but there is a bit.
The Sokratis one popped up that's been terminated. And what you talked about yesterday, you said they should tie down Smith Rowe and the rest of the guys to a 10 years contract. I don't think it's 10 years, by the way.
No.
They must have had your rant and they actually did what, you know, they did the needful, which is good. Well, because also, obviously.
Hopefully they're listening, mate. Hopefully they're listening and they get it done, because obviously we definitely need to get it done. But first of all, let's obviously get onto this news, and that is that Arsenal have come to agreement with Pep. Let's read it out. Working closely with Sokratis and his team, we have decided to cancel his contract by mutual consent. So that's another one of the clique, the gang. That is gone, Taddy. What's your thoughts and feelings on this, mate?
When you said click, do you mean I don't know. I kind of like Sokratis though. Maybe I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah.
He has a warrior mentality that I liked about him. However,
yeah,
when Arteta came, it was very obvious it wasn't part of his plan. Because straight up, he didn't play him in many games. Straight up, he put him on the bench. Straight up, he only made it clear to him that, listen, you are going to be an FA Cup or a League Cup player. So I don't know, maybe that was a personal thing, or maybe because of his age. And it was like, do you know what? I need younger players in here. But it was very obvious from day one that this guy was never part of Arteta's plan. For whatever reason, I don't know. But I respect Sokratis. I respect him because I felt there's a warrior mentality he had. He had little mistakes in him, but at the same time, he was a tough tackler. And that's one thing I liked about him, you know. But I wish him best of luck, really. At the end of the day, listen, we can only have, 4 or 5 defenders, and we also need to, you know, reduce the weight on the wage bill. So, if not because the fact that we've gotten, well, I wouldn't say gotten rid of, but hopefully Ozil is going to be leaving. That's one of the reasons we're able to tie down the likes of Smith Rowe with a 40,000, you know, a week contract. So I don't know if maybe sometime during the show we'll get into the details of all these figures and numbers, but you know, I just feel that the fact that Ozil has left now may be able to allow us to be able to sign some of the better players in the team, you know, on good contracts. I wish Sokratis the best.
No, look, at the end of the day, Sokratis, I think, come in. He done an okay job. I wouldn't overrate that. He done an okay job when he come in. I don't know what else to say about it, really, to be honest. But he done an okay job. Look, the thing is, he's just not good enough to be in our starting 11. Even when we bought him, you know what I mean, Taddy? We need much better. We need solid defenders. We need defenders that's going to be there for at least, in my eyes, 8 to 10 years. Build up that partnership, with, especially if you got Tierney on a long-term deal. We don't know what Sid is going to be like, but if he plays like he did the other night, let's be honest. You know what I mean? He will cement that right back position. You know, it's going to be on for Maitland-Niles, because I think Maitland-Niles could cement that. But listen, it's good competition. If we've got Maitland-Niles and Cedric, and they're trying to fight each other for that right back, if we get another right back in, I'm not going to argue at that, because obviously, you know what I mean, I would like someone that's got the experience and that can hit the ground running and will cement that back. That's fair enough. I've not got a problem with that. Sokratis, though, for me, you know, it's the reason why I say click is because he's very friendly with Ozil, obviously. He's very friendly with Konosliak. Obviously, he had connections with aubameyang, with the Dortmund, you know what I mean, playing at Dortmund with each other. I just think that it's, you know, the core group that we need to get rid of, the ones that behind the scenes that, let's be honest, had a good pack together.
I see what you're saying.
Influence in the dressing room and things like that. They are slowly disappearing now and going. So for me, it's a brilliant news, mate.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do. I wish him best of luck, honestly. At least he didn't really raise any dust. I think he was going up, from what we can hear, he was going about his duty diligently. He wasn't causing trouble. You know, so he should just go for a retirement package elsewhere.
Yeah. No, look, I totally agree with what you just said. Good luck to him wherever he goes. You know what I mean? I've got no ill feeling against him. So yeah, you know, he's gone now. Thank God, in my eyes. more wages, you know what I mean, freed up for us to go out and get the actual players that we've desperately been wanting and needing for a long time, Taddy. Obviously, you mentioned it and all just a minute ago. Let me get it up. Here we go. And that is Smith Rowe, obviously.
Yay!
And here it is.
Smith Rowe.
Arsenal will offer Smith Rowe a new long-term contract after his sparkling form helped lift the Gunners into the top half of the 20-year-old set to be handed a 40 grand a week deal. It doesn't really say anything at the moment on how long it's going to be. I think he's got, at the end of this year, coming up to 2 years left on his contract. So
that's good business.
It's great news for me. What about you, Taddy?
Of course, fantastic news. Absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic for the fans. It's fantastic for him. Obviously, it's more than double whatever he is on right now from what I've read. And I'm sure he never saw it coming. I'm pretty sure this season, he never thought for 1 minute that he's going to be on this salary. I'm sure when he looked at the beginning of the season and saw the likes of Pepe and likes of Willian, you know, and, you know, he would be telling himself, maybe I'm going to go out on a loan again. But listen, this is a statement from the club that, listen, we want you. We want to keep you. And if you keep doing very well, we're going to increase the salary. Yeah, we're going to increase it to, you know, let's think about this for 1 minute. I don't know if you've pre-planned this, right? But about the wage bill of most of the players that have left. Yeah. I think Sokratis was probably on about, was he 90 or 80?
I think it was about 80.
Was it 70? I think about 80. Kolasinac was on 100.
Yeah.
Right? Ozil was on 350k.
Yep.
Right? Kolasinac obviously took a pay cut for him to leave. If you calculate, so I did a calculation recently, right? Some time ago, right? We, in Arsenal Football Club, the full season we had before this COVID season, we made 90 million from just ticket sales.
Yeah.
90 million. When you calculate the first 10 to 11 top earners in Arsenal Football Club, the amount we make from ticket sales is going to help pay their salary. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Now we've been able to get rid of 3 of them. That's really, really going to help the wage bill. And what they're going to do now is reinvest it in the more willing and younger players that are going to be here for a while. And that way you can manage your funds a bit better, because instead of paying 350k, you're giving this guy 40k. And he's probably going to put in more work than the other guys that are on higher pay. You're looking at what's his name? Saka. Yes, he just signed a new contract, obviously. But you won't be surprised if next year they're going to be offering another contract.
Yeah.
A bit better than what he's earning now. But it's definitely not going to be 100k.
He's on basically, that's why they've given Smith Rowe the same, because at the moment his new contract with Saka is 40 grand a week.
There you go. And he was earning 3,000 before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's more than That's more than 4 times. No, what am I even saying? That's more than 12 times whatever it is was earning. And, so the point I'm making, right, is the fact that we're able to free up these players, right, helps us now to be able to reinvest. And another thing people need to understand, right, is because of COVID, the revenue that we were getting from ticket sales has disappeared.
Yeah.
We don't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why the club went out to get 120 million loan from the Bank of England. However, people should not get their hopes up, because according to the reports, that 120 million will not be spent on any transfer. So if it will not be, so people should not think that that's going to be used to cover up for the losses that they made because of COVID.
Yeah.
So the revenue that was coming in from the likes of ticket sales that disappeared, they had to get that loan. And I'm hearing they have to pay back that money in May. So the point I'm making, in essence, in a nutshell, is there is a lot of financial issues right now, and people should understand that. So don't get hopes up. Just be happy that we're getting rid of some deadwood, and we're going to use that money to reinvest in younger, willing players that are willing to come into Arsenal and are going to be willing to take good enough salary. Not too expensive, but good enough salary.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. And look, let's not get carried away here. We know that Arsenal don't go out and spend, massive amounts in transfer windows anyway. And you've only got to look at the likes of Man City, Chelsea. You know what I mean? These chairmen go out and spend nearly every transfer window. Let's be honest. Every transfer window.
They do.
But they haven't done it this window at the moment. Look, I'm not saying that they're not going to, but the COVID situation obviously is coming into effect, not just with us, but obviously with everyone else. But if you think that we're going to go out and spend loads of money, then all you've got to do is look at City. How much have they spent on their defence? They go out and seem to spend 70, 80 million nearly every transfer window on one defender or a fullback, if you know what I mean, to help them out. So if they're not doing it, then please don't expect us to be doing it.
I mean, in terms of City, they only did it for Ruben Dias. But people fail to understand that the likes of Silva left the club, which freed up some money for them, right? That's one. Two, the net spend was very small. So they were able to get rid of some players, they were able to bring players in. So people need to understand that. So you might see the figures, 100, I think they spent about 138 million that summer. In fact, this last summer, the likes of Everton spent more than us. Not the net now, not net, just money spent on players. I don't know about the net. They spent about 87 million. Aston Villa spent more than us. They got the likes of Watkins into the club, right? Yeah. We spent only 77 million, right? Obviously, Chelsea, everyone knows about Chelsea. They spent about 222 million. So the point I'm making, right, is the net spend is what people should be looking at, because they were able to get rid of some players off the wage bill, and that freed up some money for them to be able to purchase other players. Yeah. But what Arsenal is struggling to do, which we're trying to do now, is we've been struggling to get rid of a lot of players first to free up that money that we can use to buy other players. And we're beginning to do that. Obviously, we have the likes of Torreira now. And we're not sure whether Atletico Madrid still wants him. Yeah. Because obviously they're saying that it seems like they don't really want him. Now he's in a situation whereby Edu is saying they need to make him happy. They need to do something that's going to make him happy. And everything that it's telling me right now in my head is that they want to get rid of him, obviously. So that's 75 million that is going to be out of the wage bill as well. So people need to understand that we need to get rid of a lot of players first before you can spend. And financial fair play also is very, very important. That's why a lot of teams these days cannot just go out and spend extra, or the owners of the club can just inject any kind of money they want to inject in, because obviously they're going to be in breach of the FIFA financial fair play. So all these little things people need to put into context. The only thing that is saving us right now in Arsenal Football Club is the revenue we're getting from sponsorship deals with Adidas, with Emirates. Those are the two things that are helping us to stay afloat right now. Because ticket sales, obviously, sponsorship always accounts for about 60 to 70% of revenue of any club. So that's our saving grace now. Exactly.
Just quickly, there's been a few comments asking how Claude is. Claude is still, unfortunately, not very well. He's still got no energy, sleeping a lot. He's obviously his time clock is all over the place, but he's just still not able to come on yet because he's just not well, simply not well. And look, we're not forcing him to come on. He can take as much time as he needs. As long as he gets better, that's the main thing, you know what I mean, from all of us. So everyone that keeps asking, look, you know what I mean, he's not doing that great. He's in bed, obviously, not well, no energy, but you know, he's saying thank you very much for everyone that keeps asking and messaging. He really appreciates it. And as soon as he's better, he can't wait to get back on himself. But he's just got no energy at the moment. So Claude, if you're listening or watching, get well soon, mate, and we will hopefully see you back very, very shortly. Right, that's the sort of. I mean, this is a good comment here. Topper said, if we can get rid of Mustafi out now and maybe a few loans, more than happy. With Mustafi, Topper, for me, I don't think he's going to go this transfer window. Like we said yesterday, Taddy. You know, even though we want him gone. Don't get me wrong, we want him gone, but we still need a squad. And if we, you know, as many players that are going out, we are not going to replace them in January. So, you know, this rebuild is going to take a little bit of time. You know what I mean? We would love, let's be honest, we all would love for it to be done today. Do you know what I mean? Get rid of them all today, sack them all, get rid of them, whatever, and then new ones coming tomorrow. We'd love that to happen. But unfortunately, you know, we can't. So that is what that is why this slogan come out saying trust the process. Because obviously it's going to be a process. Time. Yeah, it's going to take time. You know what I mean? You know, you can't just get rid of everyone in one go. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So I understand the reasons why Mustafi might not go. I don't want him here. Don't get me wrong. But I understand the reasons behind it of why maybe he won't go until the summer, Daddy.
I totally agree with you. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, and you need to understand that you need a squad. If players get injured now, we're going to have a go at Arteta saying, you got rid of Mustafi, you didn't replace him. Meanwhile, during the January, it's always very difficult for any club to get rid of the best or worst, whatever. Getting rid of players is not very easy in January. Look at the likes of Imagooner now. The coach of Norwich has come out to say that he's 99% sure that he's going to stay. He did say that. I mean, no transfer is 100% guaranteed, obviously, but it's very difficult for teams to get rid of players in January. That's what the guy is saying. It's the same thing for a club. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. You also need to look at the wage of the guy as well. Mustafi is one of the highest paid players as well. So you need to consider that. How many people are willing to pay his wages in this COVID situation? There's so much uncertainty right now because of COVID. You have to look at football clubs as companies. They are companies that are run by by executives. Obviously, there are times where you're going to be having financial issues and financial difficulties because of COVID. You don't even know whether this vaccine is going to be rolled out by September entirely. You don't know. So many things you need to consider. So there's so many uncertainties right now, and we need to put that at the back of our minds.
No, exactly. That's the sort of transfer news anyway, sort of over and done with. Like I said yesterday, what I want to do is move on a little bit of what we think about Arsenal and the way that Arsenal as a club are going with Arteta. But before we do that, just a couple of things that I've picked up on from yesterday is that one is that Bellerin, apparently, it ain't down to the wages. He's saying that he wants game time. What are your thoughts on that, Taddy?
I'm going to look at it from two sides. I'm going to look at it from Balogun's side, and I'm going to look at it from the club side, right? Yep. From Balogun's side, I think he's looking at the likes of Nketiah and thinking to himself that, listen, I think I'm better than this guy. I think I should be ahead of him in the pecking order.
Yep.
Secondly, he looks like a very hungry player, someone that wants to play football. He feels he's ripe enough to be in the first team. He showed us some glimpses in the Europa League, no doubt. He looks a very good player. The way he holds up play, the intelligence of his runs, the way he wants to make things happen with the ball. That, for me, is enough for me to want to start him ahead of Nketiah. However, from the club's perspective, I guess maybe Arteta, doesn't want to be too ruthless. What do I mean? We don't know the conversations he's had with the like of Nketiah. We've seen how he's been bigging up Nketiah in most of his press conference. Before recently that he started getting benched anyways. We remember so many times that things were not going well for the team. He brings in Nketiah to come, play after lacazette. But I don't know, maybe he feels it's going to be too brutal for him to kick Nketiah out of the team now and bring Balogun in. Obviously, that's what almost every fan wants right now. But I think he's looking at the interpersonal relationship he's built with most of these players and thinking to himself, it's a tough one. I've got Willock is not playing. I've got Nketiah is not playing that much anymore. I've got so many young guys that are ahead of you in the pecking order. I can't just kick these guys out and bring you in. And they're telling him that, listen, we want to sign a contract with you. Because obviously Arteta said he wants him. They've offered him a contract. Arteta wants him. The club wants him. But Balogun and his agents are holding back because they want some sort of guarantee.
Yeah.
That he's going to get first team football or he's going to get playing time. And I'm thinking to myself, they cannot guarantee him that kind of thing. And if I'm going to be selfish now as a fan, I want him to sign. But at the same time, I want him to be patient.
Yeah. Exactly.
What he needs to understand is if he signs and he wants playing time, they can loan him. And he will get playing time wherever he goes to.
Yep.
And then come back. The same way Nketiah did.
And Smith Rowe.
And Smith Rowe. Another thing he needs to understand is I want him to look back at the track record of some of our players. If you think about this guy, what's the name of this player? This player that was in a hurry and left for Portsmouth and also eventually went to, what's his name? He went to Real Madrid. He was an Arsenal player for a while. Oh damn! Is it Chiote? I think it's a Senegalese guy. Then Flamini was our defensive midfielder. The season before Flamini left for AC Milan.
Yeah.
This guy was impatient. Is it Tiote? No, not Tiote. Tiote played for Newcastle. There's this other guy. They all look alike. Is it Diarra? Diarra.
Was it Diarra? It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was Diarra. It was Diarra. He was impatient. Right? And the season that he left, the following season, Flamini left for AC Milan. Yeah. That position would have been his position. That guy's career just went down.
Yeah.
It literally just went down like that. Because he went to Portsmouth, he went to Real Madrid. I think he spent a couple of seasons or 3 seasons. He didn't do too well. And then, that was it. That's the best teams he ever played for. The point I'm making right now is, as a young player, I know you want to play, but you're young. Calm down. Please calm down. Sign the contract. You will get your chance. So that's all I'm going to tell him. Really.
Look, I'm in the same camp as you, to be honest. Look, for me, if I was to give you, look, if we're, we're all managers, don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? We all sit there, we're all managers, we all know which team we want to put out and what player we want to put out. So my question would be to you, Taddy. At the moment, right, you've got Lacazette, you've got aubameyang, you've got Martinelli, you've got Eddie Nketiah, and you've got Balogun, right? Balogun at the moment looks an absolute phenomenal, player. Can he do it in the Premiership? We don't know yet. Do you know what I mean? He could be a flop, let's be honest, he could be. But if you're a manager and you've got a 19-year-old player with bags of potential that looks great and everything, and you've got them other 4 in front of you, where do you rank Balogun out of them 5?
Maybe number 4.
Exactly. So
maybe number 4.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. So basically, all you're saying then is look, if I was sitting down with him, look, I'm not being funny with you. I'm going to be up front. Obviously, we've got aubameyang, we've got Lacazette, Martinelli. Them 3 are definitely, no matter what, in front of you. So what we can do is we can guarantee you to sit you on the bench alongside Eddie Nketiah, if that's what he wants to do, Arteta, and say to him, look, when your time comes. But I ain't going to do that. And I'm being truthfully now, I ain't going to do that unless you're committed to this club that we're, trying to rebuild, move forward, make it fantastic. I'm not going to guarantee you that if you ain't going to sign this contract. Because in my brain already, I'm thinking, well, he's already doing this now. He's already doing this now. So in a couple of years' time, maybe that he shines and he's going to be fantastic for us. Is when someone else comes in for him, is his head going to be turned already, and his heart's not going to be in Arsenal anymore? You know what I mean? You look at Saka and you look at Smith Rowe. They've waited, they've bided their time, they've gone out on loan, they've took a new deal of only 40 grand a week, and now they're cementing their place. So that to me shows me that them two love our club already. Do you know what I mean? They love our club. Commitment. They want to go forward. So I can't understand for the life of me of why Balogun at the moment can't see that. The excitement for me at the moment, right, is that like we've talked about all the time. You've got Leno in goal, who's of a young age. Tierney, very young. You've got Gabriel of a young age. Partey, young age. Martinelli, very young. Saka, very young. Smith Rowe, very young. You know what I mean? So you've got all of them players. If you get your chance, you will be able to hopefully cement your team in that team, which he will do. Aubameyang and Lacazette's only got what? Probably, I'd say Aubameyang's only got another year in him anyway, roughly, at the worst ways. Lacazette, maybe if he starts performing and, you know what I mean, he stays here another couple of seasons. You could take over from then and be in this team with these fantastic players moving us forward. If you can't see that, you don't want to sign a deal, for me, off you go then, mate. See you later.
So you're asking for patience, just like I said earlier on. And I think one thing about life, right, in every situation, right, is for someone to be shown the way. If he's not shown what you've just explained, he might not understand it. So someone need to tell him all this and say, listen, Lacazette is 31. Or Lacazette is 30. Sorry, Lacazette is 29. He's going to be 29 this year. Aubameyang is 31. Your chance will come.
Yep.
You know? So those are the little things these players need to be told.
Yeah. No, exactly. But Argrave has said Balogun is going to be leading the line for, I don't know if that's us or the US in 2 or 3 years. Love Arsenal, but going abroad will help his development better. No, listen, I think he should go on loan. I mean, I think there was a team, Stuttgart, I think, coming for him.
No, Leipzig. Was it Stuttgart or Leipzig? I think it was Leipzig.
I think they might have both come in, to be honest.
Right.
There was the 15 teams with him. But that would be the best. I mean, look, for me, I would bring Smith Rowe and Saka into that director's room with him and say, look, listen to what these have done. You know, what Smith Rowe said the other night after his interview was fantastic. You know, I'm basically glad that I went out on loan to, Germany and Huddersfield and all that, because that prepared me better. Do you know what I mean? And obviously he come out himself and said, yes, I've been injured a lot. So I'm glad that Arteta has been patient with me and, let me get into this team. So, I think the man management personally from Arteta has been brilliant. And all this, we're getting to this a little bit later when we talk about Arsenal and Arteta.
Okay.
I'll bring it up again. But look, for me, Balogun, all I would say is you look fantastic. We want you. Do you know what I mean? We want you to sign. I will try my best to get you on the subs bench and get you some time. But before you do that, for me, you've got to sign a contract. As simple as that.
I agree. I agree.
Just a couple of other things, right? What I've got, but I can't show it. But this. So next season, at the moment, it looks like the way it's going at the moment, Taddy, we've got Arsenal will have the number 5, 8, 10, and 11 shirts available. So, who would you give them to?
Number 10, definitely Emil Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
He seems to be doing the role really well, so we might as well just give him. But I heard Lacazette, and I'm not sure why Lacazette and Aubameyang are fighting for that shirt number. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I think they're just joking about it, anyways. Because Aubameyang has got the best number right now in the club, I think. Number 8 shirts. Do you know what? Emil Smith Rowe can actually wear the number 8 shirt as well.
Yeah.
Because, but who would I give though? Who would I give the number 8 shirt? Because I think Ceballos is wearing number 8 now, right? Is it Ceballos?
Yeah, it's
Who's wearing the number 8 shirt? I think it's Ceballos. I think it's Ceballos. And number 8, I mean, traditionally, number 8 is meant for people that sit right behind the top 9, like a supporting striker role, or more like a cam now. That's the thing, because the formations have changed these days now. It doesn't really follow the traditional 4-4-2 formation anymore that those numbers were allocated to. So I'm probably going to be giving 11 to Saka. I'm probably going to be giving, someone is giving 11 to Martinelli. Number 5, I don't know about holding a number 5, man. I don't know about holding a number 5 right now, man. I'll probably give it to Gabriel.
Gabriel or your party?
I mean, Gabriel in the
defense.
Yeah, in the defense. Which other number have I not mentioned? There's 10, there's 11, there's 5, there's 8. So I'll probably give it to maybe Gabriel, or I'm gonna give it to Partey for the number 5. But traditionally, number 5 should be for centre backs. Traditionally. What about the number 4 shirt? Who's wearing the number 4 shirt for Arsenal? I should be giving number 4 to Partey.
Yeah, I think. Well, number 8 is sometimes a sort of midfielder, isn't it?
So number 8. So I'm only going by the traditional naming now. I'm only going by traditional numbers. Traditionally, number 8 is a supporting striker, right, sitting behind. Right. Number 9 is obviously the top 9. Number 11 is the left wing. Traditionally. Number 7 is the right wing. Then you have the number 4, which is the defensive midfielder, and they have the number 10, who is the attacking midfielder. But now these things have all changed. You're using 2 holding midfielders now. So it could be a number 10 or it could be a number 4. I think Vieira used to wear number 4 for us. So I might as well just give it to Partey.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. I
don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion, guys. I don't know, man. I don't know. Obviously, number 3 already belongs to what's his name? Tierney, which is fantastic. That's his natural position. That's the natural number. Number 2, however, is given to Bellerin. So that's for a right back as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, let's get on to then Arsenal. So far since Arteta's taken over, Taddy, what do you think of? First of all, let's go right back to the beginning. Obviously, Emery got sacked. Who was your manager that you wanted at the time? And what did you see that needed to happen when Emery went? And how do you think Arsenal are doing since Arteta's taken over?
So during the Emery time, I got a lot of stick for sticking to Emery. And it was for simple reasons, because obviously the Ozil camp had their own issues with Emery, and that kind of added more pressure to the guy. I also personally felt that Emery perhaps maybe had a bit of difficulties with his language barrier, which isn't his fault. You can't blame him for that. It is what it is. I'm thinking there was a bit of a difficulty in communication with the players, because people make out this man to look stupid because obviously he couldn't communicate fluently in English. Now, that for me was absurd. I hated that part when fans were making fun of him because of that. I really hated it. You cannot tell me that a manager is stupid when he's won 3 or 4 Europa League titles. It is not luck. It is not luck. He knows his job. What makes a manager's job difficult is when the players are not willing to listen to you. Then you have to leave. Not because you're a bad manager, it's just because it's not working with you and the stock of players. Simple as that. Obviously, we then started asking, who is the manager that is going to replace this guy? A lot of people were talking about Allegri. I never, for once, personally, went overboard about Allegri. Never. I never did. For simple reasons. This guy was managing in the Italian league. And people were complaining that we were not playing attractive football under Emery. Have you ever seen not Inter Milan, have you ever seen Juventus playing attractive football? They play efficient football. They played efficient football. They were winning games. They were efficient. They played efficient football. And I was saying, if Allegri should come here, trust me, a lot of people were going to have a go at him the same way that they had a go at Emery, in my opinion. Because, first and foremost, Allegri might not even have come, let's be honest. Because he's going to be asking them for a lot more than Arsenal are going to be willing to give to them. He's going to be asking for so many things, like certain amount of money, certain players that he needs to buy. And before he signs that contract, himself and Luis Enrique was another manager that was being touted to come take over. These managers are big managers that are going to demand a lot of money. They're going to demand a lot in the bank to get a lot of players. Do you think Arsenal were going to be willing to do that with most of these coaches? I don't think so. And under Emery, I was saying that many of these players are not good enough. I still maintain that. And now we started doing a clear out. Okay?
Yeah.
I still maintain that. So these managers were going to have the problem. And then looked at it and said, okay, listen, which good young manager can we get out there that can patiently build himself up as a top manager? Ideally, if you ask me, if I'm going to be very honest with you, Arteta doesn't have the experience to be the main man. Should Arsenal, who is supposed to be a big club, be going for a non-experienced manager? Probably not. However, if you want to build a process, then I have no problem with you getting a young manager who, by the way, has been praised by a lot of players in Man City that they owe their development specifically to him, not Pep. Sonny, Sterling, they said it was Arteta. Okay? So if, for instance, people are already saying this by word of mouth, it's practicality on the football pitch, the way people are bigging him up, specifically saying, listen, this guy knows his stuff. And let's not forget, he was the captain when he was here in Arsenal Football Club. And I'm not going to lie to you, Terry. I'm not going to lie. I have to be very honest. I didn't see what people saw in him to be captain back then. Yeah. Because he doesn't have that he doesn't have that Vieira vibe. He doesn't have that energy and passion. He doesn't show it. But when the guy started speaking in press conferences and, you know, he started saying a lot of things, and I kind of understood why people respected him a lot in the dressing room. Because he commands a lot of respect from what I heard. So, when they said he was going to come, I had absolutely no problem with it. Because what I needed was someone that was ready to work hard and someone that would not risk losing his job. And let's be honest, a new manager will not come into Arsenal Football Club and start saying stuff like doing things that are going to make him get sacked. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it's his first job. He wouldn't want to get sacked within 8 months. And that's the reason why when he came into Arsenal Football Club, the first thing he said was non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. Because if you mess me up, I'm going to be out the door. I cannot risk losing my job right now.
Yeah.
So I had absolutely no problem with that. I said it on AFTV once. I had no problem with Arteta based on word of mouth. Purely based on word of mouth. Not because I've seen him do anything. No. Based on what people have said about him. I said, listen, if this is what we are going to go for, we have to back him.
Yeah.
We have to back him. And by the way, just to add to this, right? I have seen a lot of things that this guy is trying to imprint in the team. Playing out the back, all, you know, the tactics, you can actually see it. Even if at all we've been losing games and all that. Another thing I want people to understand is the games that we lost to the likes of Man City and the likes of Leicester. Back in the days, we'd be losing those games 3 or 4-0. Oh, not to Leicester. Yeah. Not to Leicester. That Leicester game, I remember very well, that Leicester game, Lacazette scored a header, which was a valid header. But it was cancelled for a stupid offside. They said Saka was blocking the view of the goalkeeper. Can you remember that? Can you remember that game? I don't know if you can remember that game. That was an awful one, and then we lost the game 1-0. The point I'm making is our defensive record has improved. So what Arteta has come to do right now is, listen, I'm going to try and improve the defense, which has always been a big problem in Arsenal. Even since Arsene Wenger days, bro. We've been having problems with defense.
Yep.
But the problem now is he's improving the defense, but we were messing up in attack. So there was a trade-off. There was a big trade-off. It takes time. That's all I'm trying to say. Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. The last thing I'm going to say before I drink my tea is we are 11th position, right? We are 11th position right now, Terry. We are 11 points away from Manchester United. No, not Manchester United, Leicester, who are leading.
Yep.
11 points. Please, people, pay attention to these people. 11 points was the same points difference between us when we took second and Leicester won the league.
Yep.
Apologies, 10 points, not 11 points. Almost the same thing. The point I'm trying to make is this season is useless. This season, every single team is inconsistent.
Yep.
If a team should lose 2 games now and they're in 4th position, they can drop to 11th position just by losing 2 games. So when we were in 15th, I could understand people were frustrated. People were angry because obviously we were in 15th position, but they were not looking at the point difference.
Mm-hmm.
They were not looking at the point, and that's the difference this season.
Yeah.
So all I'm going to say is I believe in his process. I believe we should give him time. And that does not mean that if we give him the next 1 year and he hasn't, impressed, then we can let him go. It's all that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. But what I'm saying is people expect instant success. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't.
I think the worst thing is for me, Taddy, is that from the beginning, right, I said that Emery should have went after we got totally embarrassed that night in Baku. He should have went then, as far as I'm concerned, right? He should have went then, and then maybe this process would have been speeded up by 6 months again if we got rid of him at the end of that season and we started fresh from the new season. No, we didn't. People wanted him to stay, and look what happened. We was in a bad position under Emery still. If it weren't for aubameyang, let's be real, then we probably would have been in the bottom 3 that season, that last 6 months under Emery, right? So, but even when I said he should have been sacked at Baku, I was calling that we should go out and get Arteta for the simple reasons of all the things that you explained earlier on. And that was all the players at Man City was praising him. When Arteta was a player at Arsenal under Mr. Wenger, he was saying that one day he's going to become a fantastic manager. Obviously, Pep is a great friend of him. He's going to become a great thing. Look, things... How many times do you know that even for a player that you come straight in and everything works and goes wonderful for you? It doesn't. When we brought Bergkamp in and Henry in, it took them 20-odd games to get started and get flying and get their self. And that's just a player, one player that needs to sort himself out, not a manager that comes in and has to sort this old shit out. Let's be real. Right, but even before Emery, like I said to you before, this has been happening for 16 years. Our club's been going backwards. 16 years, even under Wenger. From when we went that season undefeated, for me, that's when we started going backwards. Because the way I look at it, if you go a season undefeated like that with that team, all them players should have been cemented down with contracts, and they weren't going anywhere. And then we should have went on for the next maybe 4 or 5 years, at least winning the Champions League or the Premier League, you know what I mean? Or being there or thereabouts, right? But instead, what we've done is we went backwards. He started getting rid of them players after that season. And from then, let's be real, we've never, ever, ever replaced any of them players with a like-to-like player. We never have. And then how long have we been waiting for a defensive midfielder like Partey and a central defender like Gabriel? Yes, they haven't played that much yet this season. They've had a couple of injuries or whatever. But we've been calling for this. Fans have been calling for this. But for years and years and years, that's the players that we want. But not only that, not only did I want Arteta, the reason why I wanted Arteta is because me, myself, like I've been saying for a long, long time, for them 16 years, well, like 14 years or whatever before that, before Arteta come in, we've been going backwards and backwards and backwards. And me as a person, I could see the situation that we needed a big overhaul. We needed a big rebuild. All these players that have been there under Wenger, under Emery, and all that, they needed to go. We needed to get rid of them. They simply were not good enough for our club and to take us forward as a football club, right? And then what I think people want is they think that someone like Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, with their experience, they're fantastic. Don't get me wrong. They've done great things for other clubs. But what I like them though. Yeah. But what they don't take in consideration is is the shit our club is in. Yes, they might have come in as a manager with all their experience, right? But if you look at all the teams that they go to, really, realistically, most of them have all got money and they can go out and spend and get who they want. Could these managers, which is hypothetical, come in and then change their fortunes? They might have done. Don't get me wrong, they might have done. But how long would fans give them? I think fans would have given them probably 3 years without us winning anything because of, he's got experience. We know what he's doing. You know what I mean? We know that he knows what he's doing. He's won things elsewhere. So I think personally that fans would have said, oh, yeah, all right, we got 8th last year. We won an FA Cup. That's quite good. We need like everything we're saying now about Arteta, because Arteta ain't the experienced manager that they wanted, I think they would have given, Arteta, Mourinho and Carlo Ancelotti a free pass, basically, because of the experience they've got from, you know what I mean? I'm not interested in all that. I'm not interested. I don't want, for me, Mourinho, he stays at a club for 3 years and that's it, and then he fucks it up in my eyes. Yes, it might be great that he might have won us a league, but then we'll be in the same situation again when he leaves, if you know what I mean. What I wanted was
continuity.
What you said at the beginning, Taddy. You know what I mean? Just I wanted a man to come in, rebuild us completely from the bottom up, like he said he was going to do. Do you know what I mean? He said he's going to come in, he's going to rebuild, but you can't do that in one go, Taddy. You can't do it in one go.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Let's be real. I said from when Arteta come in that once we get rid of all these deadwood players, right? Once we get rid of them all, and he starts rebuilding with his own players, look what he can do. Look what he done with that team last year when we got the FA. Let's be real. No one thought we was going to do the FA Cup, and I know that people don't want to talk about the Charity Shield, but we've won it. We've won it. We've won 2 trophies, right? So no one gave us the light of day, even against Liverpool or Man City or Chelsea or whoever it was, right? We went and done it. And even when we won it, I was celebrating like everyone else. And I said, look what he can do with these players. Look what he's just won. Do you know what I mean? We was in this shit before he come. This shit ain't sorted out yet, but look what he can do with the situation he's in already. So why not wait until we get rid of all that shit? He gets his players in, and let's see what he can do going forward then. And that's what I've always said. Come next season, once we get rid of all these players, I did not dream in a million years that this would all be done now, to be honest. That's why I was all saying next season. I never thought Ozil would go. Exactly. You know what I mean? And Sokratis and, you know what I mean, Kosniak was all going to go this thing. I thought they would have waited until the end of their season and then that would have been it. But, you know what I mean? This is all happening even quicker than I anticipated. So for me, I'm excited. I'm excited to come next season. We will get a few of these players in that he wants. And then hopefully by this time next season, we'll be a lot further up the table and, you know what I mean, looking good. I don't know about yourself, Taddy.
No, everything you've said is, you just echoed everything I've said. But one thing we do agree on is, and this is something I've argued a lot with Claude over time. We've argued a lot with Claude over this. I think we should judge Arteta. I think, okay, let me paraphrase that. I think it's unfair to judge Arteta on a non-level playing field. What do I mean? I think once he gets the players he wants, then it's fair to judge him a bit better then. And if he fails, I will be the first person to say, listen, mate, you've had the free hand. You've gotten the players you say you wanted. I'm not seeing any improvement. I'm sorry you have to go. But when you are judging him on the players that disappointed us the season before, and let's not forget, he got the job in December. In the middle of the season, they sacked a manager because the players were shit. And you are now judging him based on those same players that messed up a previous manager. I feel it's unfair. So my point is, let us judge him on a level playing field. That's all I'm asking for. This doesn't mean that if Arteta should mess up tomorrow, I'm going to say, oh, no. No, if he messes up, I'm going to come out and voice it. I'll be the one to come out and voice it. I'm not going to run away from that. I just feel he needs to be judged on a level playing field. Simple as that.
No, look, I totally agree again. Do you know what I mean? Exactly with what you said. I think we're both echoing each other, really. And it looks like we both got the same sort of thoughts and feelings and the outcomes that we hopefully get. And the same thing. You know what I mean? Listen, I've championed Arteta because I wanted him from the start. I think he will still be able to do it for us. That's not a problem. But like I said, if it comes this time next season, he's got his players in, and we're not doing that great. Hands up. I'll come out and say, look, I thought you would be the manager for us. I was, I understood the rebuild that needed to happen, but look, you've got rid of the players that we wanted out. You've got your players in there, and you're still not going in the right direction. That is,
and you have to go.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. It's simple. It's simple. I just don't get why people don't understand that, Taddy.
I think Terry, what's happening is people are tired, and I can honestly I'm not gonna lie to you. People that are saying Arteta out and all that, I wouldn't judge them. Do you know why? I wouldn't judge them entirely because everyone has got different levels of tolerance, right? I think so many people are so tired of Arsenal Football Club that they want instant success. Yeah. They want it now. They're tired because the club has disappointed them since 2004, right? The club has disappointed them. They're tired. They don't even want to hear any process. They just want to win. Do you understand? So I think it's a bit of and I feel for them, which we all want.
We all want to win,
but we need to be realistic. It's not gonna happen like that. It's not. Yeah. Honestly, we just need to be realistic. I understand everyone wants now. They want, let me tell you what's caused this problem. What caused this problem was Mourinho. Ask me why I said that. What caused this problem is Mourinho and Abramovich together. They were the ones that caused this problem. Because when Abramovich came in 2004 and had an instant success, he opened up a new way in Premier League that, listen, if you spend, you win immediately. They were the ones that caused this. Alex Ferguson took how many years before he won his first league? Wasn't it about 6? Was it 6 or 8? It took him a long time. Alex Ferguson. Fine. Wenger came the second season, he won. But the point I'm making is people want instant success. You come in and you win the league immediately. It doesn't happen like that. But I can understand their frustrations, though. I can understand it.
Listen, I can. Obviously, we all can. We all want to be up there and in top 4 and challenging for the league title. We all want to be in the Champions League. We all want to win every single game. Of course, we do. But like you just said, Taddy, you've got to be realistic. You got to be realistic. You know what I mean? The thing is, it frustrates me. It frustrates me because I think people should have an open mind and be able to see this. Why can't they see the situation that we're in? Do you know what I mean? Why do they think? Look, like I said yesterday, we both said it. Yes, we've got a great starting 11. We have got a great starting 11. If all of our players were fit every single game and they played every single game, we've got a great 11 to go out there and compete with top 4. I honestly believe that. But
for top 4, but for us to win the league, we still need to buy players.
Listen, we won't win the league. We won't win the league at the moment because
definitely. Okay.
Yes, I'd say top 4, but the reason why I'm saying that is because obviously, being realistic, Taddy, we all know that them players that we said yesterday, your core starting, your Leno, Tierney, Gabriel, Partey, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Saka. Even you can even throw aubameyang and Lacazette in there. How many games will they play in a season together? Because they're not
injury.
Because of injury. Look, we can all sit here and say on paper, I mean, our first 11 looks fantastic. We should be in the top 4. We should be in the top 4. But if you look at it on a whole, like I keep saying, please answer me this question. All these Arteta out fans and everyone that thinks that we should be in top 4. How many games this season will them 9 players play together because they're not injured? Taddy, how many games would you say?
How many games have we played so far, really?
We played,
About 20 games, I think.
Yeah,
I think 20.
9, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've played 19 games or so. To be honest, not much. I can't count how many games that these guys have all. I can't. I mean, Partey has only played what, 4 games in total, and I think he's only played 2 of them are just 90 minutes. The other 2 are not 90 minutes. I think Lacazette has been in and out of the team as well because of his form. Gabriel had a red card, came back. Obviously, Bellerin, one player that we don't really want in the team. Martinelli has been injured. He just came back from injury. Smith Rowe just made his way into the team as well, obviously, after the other big boys were messing up. So I think the only ever-present players we've really had among those core is maybe Holding, Saka, and me. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of them, either injury or they just found their way into the team.
Exactly. Right. So it's not rocket science, is it? So if they're out injured, who have we got to play in their positions?
We don't have a squad. That's the point. We don't have a.
We've got donkeys who everybody wants to get rid of, right? Which we're all in agreement. At the moment, they're all going. But like you just said, we haven't got a squad at the moment. So if we haven't got a squad at the moment, that's because we've been slowly going backwards. Like we said, if you break it all down, 16 years. 16 years we've been going backwards and backwards and backwards. Now that's why I keep saying that if it doesn't matter if Mourinho come in or Ancelotti come in or anyone come in, because our squad as a whole is not good enough to compete to be in the top 4. Because if them players, like we just said, are injured, the only players that we've got to come in are the donkeys that we don't want at this club.
So and you have to add to that, the recruitment, the way the business has been done as well, which has also hampered progress in the club. All that, if you add that if you put that into perspective, those are things that we need to consider as well. The likes of Pepe being purchased against the manager's will. Emery didn't want him. Emery did not want him. He wanted Zaha. The club went for Pepe. That is a problem in itself.
Yeah.
So many things have been going on in the club based on how Denis Suarez, it wasn't Emery. That was the club. Denis Suarez only played 90-something minutes for the whole amount of time he spent in the club. He only played 90-something minutes in total. That in itself is a problem. So we need to consider all these things and say, listen, I think they're changing the way things are going now. Obviously, Rahul has left. I think they're changing the process. They're trying to change the way in which the business is done. And there's a reason why they made this guy manager. There was a reason why they changed his job role from coach to manager, so that he can have a little bit of hands-on and a little bit of say in decision-making processes, which Emery didn't have. And what I'm hearing right now, he's going to be working hand in hand with Edu in deciding the players they need to go for. So that is, for me, that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But patience is key. Patience is key. We'll wait for next season and see what happens. Like I said, and like we both agree on, if this guy is not doing the bit, then we'll be like, okay, listen, I'm sorry, but you're not doing it. You have to go.
Yeah.
Simple.
Exactly. Just to finish up, Tad, listen, whenever you're free next week, give me a shout and we'll do another couple of more shows, because I love having you on, mate.
Thanks a lot, man. I like talking to you as well.
No, I mean, we're bouncing off each other, so it's working really well, mate. So, and I mean, it's brilliant. So let me know next week. But what's your oh, I can't think of the word. What are you expecting for the rest of the season? Yeah, what are you expecting for the rest of the season? And are you? Well, it sounds like anyway. Are you in or out? Let us know. For Arteta.
Of course, I'm Arteta in. I am Arteta in for now. I am for now, because I can see an identity in the way we play. I can see a little bit of differences, and I can see that the cultural change is being imprinted little by little, because people need to understand that cultural change is not about being on the pitch. It's also about the way you live your life, the way you operate as a footballer, your willingness, your commitment to the cause, how you approach everyday lives. All that is very, very important. All that is very, very important in football. I was reading Arsene Wenger's book, right? I haven't finished. I'm still in chapter 4, and he said a lot about players' attitude and commitment, which is very, very important. When a player is not committed to the cause, it's so difficult for the manager to work with that person. And that's one of the reasons why Arteta is doing this whole Operation Clear Up right now, which people need to understand. And it's really going to help his job. If you're not committed, out the door. Simple. Yeah. So in terms of how I see the season, I've already said it to you earlier in this show that, listen, this season is the weirdest season ever in the history of Premier League. Well, since I was born anyways. I'm just 34. So just so you know, it is the weirdest because this season is the only season that many people have won the most games away from home. That's weird. That is weird. Do you know what I mean? And then you also have to look at the point differences as well. Man U right now, if they lose 2 games, they're out of the top 4. So they need to be careful as well. So for me, I think we still have a chance. With the way we are progressing right now, I think these guys are beginning to gain their confidence back, obviously. And they're getting the finishing touches back, which has been the major problem. The major problem has been the attack this season, not the defense. Because we have 7 clean sheets in the Premier League. 7 in the Premier League. That is good. That's among the top 3 or top 4 in the Premier League. So the problem has been the attack. Once we can finish our chances, the more we finish our chances, the more we find our opportunities to get back into the running for the top 6. Top 4 for me is still a stretch. I'm not going to lie, it's a stretch. I will say the top 6 is probable. I think I'm going to leave it there.
Okay, mate, not a problem. And we can continue this next week. Not a problem anyway. There'll be a lot more. Hopefully, Ozil will be obviously totally gone now. We know he's gone anyway. We're just waiting for the announcement. But he'll be gone. And hopefully, we will see a few incomings. But I just want to say, Friday, 3 o'clock, we've got ex-Arsenal legend, Mr. Kevin Campbell on the show. He'll be here at 3 o'clock for the transfer news. I will see who I can get on for tomorrow. But yeah, we've got ex-Kevin Campbell, ex-Arsenal legend, sorry, Kevin Campbell will be on at 3 o'clock Friday for the transfer news show. And at 5 to 6, me and Diesel will be back for the live watch-along of the Man City Aston Villa game. So please come over and give us a watch for that. If you can, please all go and like and share everything on our platforms. Facebook, we've got a new page. Please go over there and like that and follow it and share it and get the word out there. Tad, thank you very much for coming on. Quickly shout out your channel again, mate.
Right, guys. Please. My channel is quite new. I've been doing a lot with Claude before he got sick, and I'm really looking forward to him getting back. So most of the times, Kenny Ken and Claude usually come for my post-match analysis, and I'm also doing a late night football show every Tuesday and Fridays. It's a late night football show. It's for every football fan, really. It's quite entertaining with music in the background, with music intermissions, and you come on for some quiz. You come.
Oh, unfortunately, it looks like we've lost Taddy at the moment. And just to let everyone know, I'll try and get, if Claude ain't back for Monday for our 3 o'clock show, I will try and see if Mr. Lee Gunner is available to come on at 3 o'clock. So I will let you know on Friday on that one. But thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate you coming over. Like I said, we'll be back at 5 to 6 for the live watch-along. And don't forget, Friday, ex-Arsenal legend, Kevin Campbell will be on the transfer news.
Are you still there, guys? Can you see me?
Yeah, quickly shout out your
channel. I can see. Yeah, so I was talking to myself, innit? Anyway, Tade Osho, right there in the description. I was talking for a long time. I didn't know where I stopped, really. Anyway, make sure you subscribe, people. Please and please show me some support. Make sure you subscribe. Get me to 1,000 people. It's new. So please do your best.
Everyone go over on YouTube and give him a shout out. Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate it. Like I said, 5 to 6. We'll be back, me and Diesel, for the live watch-along. See you all then. Thanks a lot.